What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a full rundown on my brand new 2026 Mach 33 with the new FDS cams. Now, in this video, I want to give you guys a full breakdown of the bow, the accessories, how we currently have this set up. I also want to address one of the most commonly asked questions that I've been getting lately is why the 33 over the SICARIO, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about speed differences of the Mach 33 with the FDS cams compared to my 2025 rig that was a Mach 33 with EC2 cams. Now, as far as the bow setup goes, obviously I decided to run the exact same color combination that I ran in 2025. I was a huge fan of how that bow turned out. I'm a big fan of the earth tone color on the riser, the black limbs, the black accessories, and then also keep in mind that I built a bunch of different sights to specifically match this color combination. So as a cost savings to myself, I decided to run that same color back here in 2026. Still very happy with it. I think it's an outstanding looking bow, and I'm excited to kind of test this thing out and run it here in 2026. Now, as far as the strings go, I went with ABB Launch Series strings again. I've been a big fan of ABB products over the last couple years. These Launch Series strings do come with a 2-year warranty, guaranteeing no string stretch or peep rotation. If you do have any issues with that, ABB is always really good about resolving it. So they're quick to send cables and strings out, like I said, to address any type of problems that you've had under that 2-year warranty policy. Now, as far as stabilizers go, I may change this. I'm waiting for Sunrise to get some of the new bars that were announced at the 2026 ATA show. But currently right now, I have AAE Mountain Series. These carried over from my previous bow. Regardless of the direction that I go with my stabilizers, my lengths will not change. I'll continue to run a 12-inch bar off the front and then also a 6-inch bar off the back. The back bar is, I get a lot of questions on this. This is a little unique for my setup. Usually most people running a 12-inch bar will either go with a 10 or an 8. I go with a 6 because I like to saddle hunt, and it kind of just works out really well for that. As far as weight goes, I got 3 ounces on the front, 6 ounces on the back, and for this bow and for the weight of this bow, it just allows this bow to hold extremely well. I also don't have to be as concerned with my bubble because when I do go to full draw, the bow tends to level out based on how we kind of have the weight positioned and then just the position of the back bar. So super happy with that setup. Not much change there. I am running an aftermarket grip. This is another thing that I get a lot of questions on. These unfortunately are no longer available through UltraView. They used to make these when John Dudley was still over at PSE. I scored 2 of these. I got one currently installed on my Mach 30 and then obviously on my Mach 33 here in 2026. There are other aftermarket companies making these grips, so if you're interested in testing these out, you just need to kind of do some research to figure out where you can source those. I like running that grip because it does change the angle of the factory grip, and for me it just makes it a lot more repeatable in the hand. Now, as far as my sight goes, still currently I have the UltraView UV Slider 2 set up on this bow, but I am going to be playing around with a bunch of different sights this year. I'll be testing out the HHA XV3. I'm going to be playing around with the new dialed 3-pin vertical that is adjustable, allowing you to dictate your pin gap. And then there were also another couple sights announced at the ATA show here in 2026 that I'm very interested in getting my hands on. Black gold being one of them. So I'm not sure if this will remain on the bow for the 3D hunting season, but time will tell. Now, as far as draw weight goes, 75-pound limbs, but like I said, putting ABB strings on, you do get a performance upgrade. The bow settled in at 77 pounds the last time I weighed it. Still rocking a 27.5-inch draw. My draw length did not get any bigger, unfortunately. And then we did play around with putting this at 80% let off, and I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. When I had this at 80% let off, I was having issues with the bow. And really it's not with the bow, it's more so me. Every time I would go to full draw and kind of settle in to my anchor, the bow just wanted to go on me. So went back to 85% let off. That cleaned up that issue. It's definitely more stable on the back wall for me. So we'll continue to run that. Now, as far as releases go, still juggling between the tried and true Carter 2 Simple and the new UV Button 2. I'm a big fan of the UV Button 2. I would like to shoot that release, but I might have to play around with my D-loop length a little bit now that we went back to the 85% let off. At 80%, it was perfect. 85, it feels a little too long. So like I said, I'll probably have the guys up at Sunrise shorten up that D-loop a little bit to try to bring in my anchor point. The rest this year, we went with the Hamskea R7. Started running Hamskea in 2025. Huge fan of them. Was very interested in checking out the new R7 with the upgraded features. I will say from a tuning standpoint, I don't tune my own bow, but I leave that up to Derek. He's the wizard to get these things to shoot bullet holes through paper. But the adjustments were very quick. Micro adjust was easy. And also, I really like the fact that they are now integrated to the pick mount, whereas on the previous version, that Micro Epsilon, you actually had to buy another bracket in order for you to be able to mount that to the back of a PSE. Now, one thing that I will say, just from a feel standpoint, is this rest is significantly lighter and you can definitely feel it on the bow. So that's an added benefit. Now, shifting over and talking about Mach 33 versus the SICARIO and why I decided to go this route. Keep in mind that the Mach and SICARIO, as far as axle lengths, are identical. They're both 33-inch axle-to-axle bows. They're both running the new FDS Cams, but the Mach 33 does have a little bit longer of a brace height than the SICARIO, and a longer brace height is going to make it a little bit more of a forgiving bow. Now, I know that the SICARIO has what they're calling a dynamic brace height because of the cams, which does make that bow more forgiving for a speed bow, but being that I had shot the Mach 33 so well, and that this was hands down the nicest bow that I've owned since 2019, I decided to go this route. Like I said, 3 years in a row, I consecutively increased my speed, or I should say 2 years consecutively increased my speed from the Mach 30. So gaining more speed wasn't that big of an issue. Where I'm currently sitting right now makes it very ideal from a tuning standpoint with the type of arrows. And then also the way that I like to hunt with fixed vertical pins, having this speed with the 33 is going to be a very nice setup going into 2026. Now, I did shoot the SICARIO and the Mach 33 back to back for about 45 minutes before making this decision. They are both extremely comfortable bows, but what I will say is that the SICARIO is a little stiffer when you start the draw cycle when compared to the Mach 33. Honestly, in my opinion, the 33 with the FDS cams was not very different than the Mach 33 with the EC2 cams. So again, they really prioritized comfort with this bow again here in 2026. Now next, let's shift over and talk about the speed differences between the 2026 Mach 33 with the FDS cams compared to the 2025 Mach 33 with EC2 cams. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, as I already mentioned, this bow is sitting at 77 pounds, whereas my previous one was coming in at 75 pounds. So make sure that you guys obviously take that into account when you're kind of doing your calculations on speed. But currently right now, the new 2026 rig is shooting my tack arrow, which is a 424 grain arrow at 299 feet per second, which is lightning fast for me. When it comes to my hunting arrow, that is currently set up at 487 grains. Now, I might tweak that a little bit here in 2026. I might go with a lighter collar, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I just got to see what my pin gap is going to be on fixed vertical pins. But currently 487, and I'm getting 282 feet per second with the new 2026 rig, which again for me is lightning fast, having a shorter draw length. So overall, very, very happy with this bow build and these new FDS cams. I will say that this bow, it draws very similar comfort-wise to the Mach 33 with the EC2. So if you guys are curious if it's going to be too aggressive or if it's going to be not as comfortable as the EC2 cams, I would highly recommend that you just go and shoot it and see how it feels. I was very impressed with this new cam system, and like I said, PSE always does a fantastic job at really prioritizing comfort over anything else. So but that is it for this video. I think I covered everything. If you guys have any other questions, leave me a comment below. You can always reach out to me directly on Instagram. I'm always happy to help. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Your guys' support greatly helps me out, keeps me doing what we're doing. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you guys on the next one.